And here we go, another look at things right now. The fans are filing in right now and ready to do things in a good way. You could not ask for a better day, Cam McCall. What are you thinking, man?
I know, there's blue sky, nice sunny, mild temperature. Nobody's burning up out here, and I don't want to jinx it, but right now the flags are chilling.
Don't say the W word. We don't want to hear that one. Well, our first competitor, he is ready to go out of Great Britain, doing it for Bulls Bikes. He's 24 years old, 7th at the Vienna Air King. Here is Daryl Brown.
Daryl Brown just squeaking in through the qualifiers yesterday. He had a flat tire through his whole qualifying run, but still somehow pushed through. Just shows how badly he wants it. 360 in the step down, bar spin on the wall hip. Tuck no hander to bar spin on the left hand hip. Well, this is definitely a finals run here. He's doing combos that he didn't have in his qualifying run. 360 off the cannon log. 360 tuck no hander on the first double jump. Now he's into the on-off box. One-footed table up. 360 down into the largest jump on the course. The last jump, the big backflip, smooth into the finish corral. Final run number 1 for Daryl Brown.
Yeah, right over that specialized final booter right there. Good stuff out of Daryl Brown to start it out. We had said 7th at the Vienna Air Kings. Also, he got 3rd at Whitestyle, 9th at the Glen Ride, and 2nd at the Dirt Wars. So it's been a good year for that man right there, Daryl Brown. Taking a look at the replays here.
Well, you can see he's having an easier time clear all the jumps today as opposed to yesterday, having air pressure in his front tire. That's definitely something that helps.
It helps.
Probably wanting a variation on that last jump, but it's a huge jump. It's actually 30-foot gap with a very tall lip, probably 9, 10-foot tall lip. So sometimes you're in the air so long, not sure when to throw that variation. But great way to start off the event here for Daryl Brown.
Yeah, 66.6. That's going to be the score to beat right there. Daryl Brown will see what the rest of the other 15 guys have in store. And one of my favorites out here to watch, and I'll tell you what, if there was an award for the most tweets regarding this next guy, he would win it. DJ Brandt, ready to go, the local boy. This is where he calls home. You can see him on some of the Trestle Bike Park videos, him just running this whole mountain. He's such a great guy to watch.
Yeah, they have that trail banana peel here, which is basically a slope-style trail. So DJ Brandt's been training on that, so he's no stranger to the dirt here at Winter Park and really climbed the ladder the last couple years.
So DJ Brandt going to start things off. I know it said Mitch McPhee, but there you go, DJ Brandt. At DJ Shredda. You can follow him on Instagram. Here we go, DJ Brandt coming in hot, his first run of the day.
Well, the crowd's going to be going nuts for this Colorado local as he starts out his run with a tail whip down the step down. Alley-oop with so much style onto the wall hip. Now rolling into the ramp to dirt left hip. Going hip backflip into the cannon log with a truck driver.
Oh, nice.
Wow, that's new. He didn't have that in qualifying. Tabling the setup jump into the first double. Backflip tuck no hander. Just adding some more spice from his qualifying run. Oh! The sit down seat bounce no handed takeoff up with a 360 down and a lofty corked out backflip to finish things off for Colorado local DJ Brandt.
Yeah, definitely one of the most popular riders out here for sure. One more time, people here at Winter Park, put your hands together for DJ Brandt, run number 1 for him.
Oh man, and we saw him doing that sit down takeoff yesterday. Let's take a look back at that run. Truck driving the cannon log, he wasn't doing that yet.
No.
There we go, sit down, no-handed takeoff to 360 down. And a really big corked out back to finish things off. So he's actually sitting down on his seat with his hands off, riding up the takeoff, and then putting them back on before he lands. Super creative. The judges are going to like the originality.
So 66.6 is the score that Brandt is trying to beat right now. That's what Daryl Brown has posted up. 16 of the top riders here. We're giving them 2 runs each. That's all they get. 2 runs, and your best run counts. Hopefully that'll put you on the podium. And a 70.3 for DJ Brandt, and he'll take over the top spot right there with that one.
DJ Brandt started things off right with a 70.3, moving into the lead. Definitely where he wants to be at this point.
And now we take a look at Mitch McPhee out of the U.S., 19 years old.
Mitch is also another Colorado local, so the crowd can keep the excitement alive after DJ's run.
Yeah, Mitchell.
Oh, people giving us some props up top. Here he goes right now, Mitch McPhee, run number 1.
Mitch McPhee going suicide no-hander on the start step down into the wall hip with a bar spin connecting to the top of that green wall. The left-hand hip with a downside one-footed can-can into the cannon log. Shoulder buzz in that tabletop, and now we're getting that condor cam view. He's bar spinning the setup jump. We only saw Carson Storch doing that yesterday. Mitch was saving some stuff for the finals. Truck driver up on top of the platform, bar spin down. Oh, a little bit short, but what does he have in the last jump? Tuck no-hander. There we go, salvaging that run right there. He was going long on that truck driver, but was able to pull the things back together.
And we talk about that. I mean, these tricks are, these elements are so close together that if you have a little bit of mess up, it's hard to keep that rhythm going, but big ups to Mitch McPhee, able to keep that run together right there, Cam.
Well, you can see in his body position, the way he rides, he's thinking a couple steps ahead. He's landing really smooth, and he's calm on the bike. So if he has a little bit of a bobble, you can tell he's the type of rider who has the ability to stay cool and just move on to the next feature. So looking back at that run, we had that downside 1 foot can on the hip, the shoulder buzz there, and this was a highlight coming into that setup jump bar spin.
Yeah.
No time to pop, basically just having to speed jump and bar spin, squeezing in the tricks anywhere he can because this is finals.
So Mitch McPhee is looking to try and beat a 70.3. Mitch McPhee coming up. We're going to see Reed Boggs is on the way. Then we're going to see Greg Watts coming up right after that. So score coming in, that's going to be a 58.6, a 58.6.
So a good place to start there for Mitch McPhee. He knows what he needs to smooth out for his second run, but a nice one to start with, get something in the bag.
And now we go our attention up top to Reed Boggs, doing it for Morpheus, 18 years old, 11th at Bike Days earlier in the season, 16th at the Swatch Rocket Air. And last year, a very solid showing out here. Ended up in 6th place in your Colorado Freeride Festival. So he knows to get up there in the top 10 for sure. Let's see if he can do it right now. Here comes Reed Boggs, run number 1.
Reed Boggs, one of our youngest riders in the finals, backflipping the start step down and going so high onto that wall hip with a 1-footed flat table, almost going inverted. Downside tail whipping the left hip, taking him right into the cannon log with a 360. Now he's got that setup jump, right into the first double trick jump, backflip, tuck, no-hander, adding in variations. That's what the judges like to see, going bar spin on top of the box, a 360 down, fully composed for this last jump. Backflip, tuck, no-hander for Reed Boggs, tricking absolutely everything.
And that just shows you, too. I mean, Cam, you look at Reed Boggs. He didn't get 6th place last year for no reason at all. He can get up there in the mix and showing you a good, solid run out of him right there. Is it enough to beat a 70.3? Well, that's not up to us to decide. That's all in the judges' hand. Paul Rack and the crew up there making the calls up here. Cam McCall and Brad J on the mic for you. Reed Boggs finishing up run at number 1 and checking those replays.
So really smooth on that backflip on the step down, and I love his amplitude. The judges are definitely looking at amplitude, so going high on that wall hip is definitely going to help him out. Bar spinning onto the on-off box with the 360 down. You see a lot of people straight flipping this last big jump, but not Reed Boggs. He was able to get those hands off and get the variation on that flip.
Because they want to, judges want to see a combo. They want to see him mixing it up, right? A straight backflip's good, but it's not going to score as high as putting a combo together.
It is tough to flip that last jump, but these days a straight flip is almost like a straight air. So taking your hands off is what you need to do.
Never thought that would happen. 74, Reed Boggs in the first place with a 74. And thumbs up from Reed Boggs. And of course, he's going to be happy with that one with one more run in the bank for him. And a very good friend of yours, Greg Watts, ready to go now.
Yeah, Greg Watts just pulling it together in his last qualifying run yesterday. He was on the bubble, but able to just pull out all the stops in his second run because he knew he needed to and get into this final. He's a veteran. He's no stranger to the pressure situations, and we saw him pull through last night.
He won at Joyride back in the day, 2010 winner out there. 4th place last year here, missing the podium. Let's see what he's got. Greg Watts.
Greg Watts, backflip suicide on the start step down. Really starting this run out with a bang. X up onto the wall hip. Oh, he's off to a great start here. Missing the trick on the left-hand hip, but he's got to just refocus on the rest of the obstacles he has in front of him. 360 X up on the cannon and into the trick jump with a 360. He was taking the hands off yesterday, so he wanted a variation, but backflip on top of the on-off box. Oh, 360 X up down and a backflip bar spin to finish things off. Oh, such a solid run.
Well, they call him PlayStation. They call him Double or Nothing. Greg Watts coming out there. And I talked to him last night. He said, he was on the outside looking in for it. Then he came into his second run. He thought his first run was going to get him in the top 16, but these guys are swinging.
Oh, the way things are these days, it's crazy. You got to do something like that. A backflip suicide no-hander on the start step down. And getting a variation on the 360 here. We're seeing a lot of people 3-it, not too many 3X ups so far, and a backflip bar spin toward the end. You really saw his experience shine through in this run when he kind of missed a couple tricks, but just kept his composure and finished off his run.
Well, Greg Watts, your Rockstar teammate right there, waiting for that one to come in for him. Needing to beat a 74 to take over the top spot. Or just a good starting point with a second run coming up for Greg Watts. Waiting for that to come through. Let's see what the survey says, and that's going to be a 69, just missing the 70s. He'll be in 3rd place for Greg Watts with that one.
Yeah, looks like they definitely docked him for missing some of his smaller tricks. He got the big ones. He got the flip suicide on the start step down, the flip bar at the end. But he's got to just pick up the scraps a little bit and run 2, and he'll be getting a higher score.
So then we take our attention to Ray George out of Santa Cruz for Polygon, 21 years old.
So exciting to see Ray George climb the ladder. I've been seeing this kid ride since he was just a little grom coming out to the post office jumps in Aptos, California. And to see him on the big stage now, making finals for a huge slopestyle competition, it's so exciting. Huge 360 off the start step down with so much style, getting that nose nice and dipped. And then an alley-oop opposite 270 onto that wall hip, going both directions, getting those technical points. Tail whip straight to pedals, getting the fluidity points on that left hip. 360 once again with so much style on that cannon log, and into the trick jumps. Tail whip with some style, a little bit of no-foot can flare on that one, into the on-off box with a tuck no-hander on. 360 down with Ray George. Has so much style on those threes. And a lofty backflip on the last jump. Ray George, slopestyle master out here.
So much flow and so smooth out of Ray George right there on that first run. An amazing ride right there. You got to wonder what that score is going to come in for him, but I'll just say just fluid all the way through that, Cam.
Yeah, style and fluidity has always been a big strength of Ray. As you can see there, just dumping a 360 on that step down. It looks like that's a straight jump, the amount of style that he's able to put on there, but don't forget, that's a 15-foot drop with a short lip, and same thing goes for that flat drop right there. Able to put dirt jump style on a flat drop 360.
Well, now it's all in the judges' hands right now. The top score that we've seen so far is the 74. We saw the 70 out of DJ Brandt. So that put him in that second spot. Then you got Greg Watts in third. So let's see if Ray George will challenge the top 3 with this score coming in for him. And what's it going to be? Refresh. There we go.
Nice.
72, second place for Ray George.
Really good score for Ray George. You know, the tricks that he does, he can get a couple extra points on them because of the amount of style he's able to put on there. 360 in that flat drop and getting it nose dipped is so hard to do. You see more stiff penciled threes off that, but Ray just adding in the style because he knows that's also a judging criteria.
And then now Mike Montgomery is ready to go, stacked and racked right now, 14th at City 8 earlier. Respectable 20th place at Red Bull Rampage last year. In his best year on the FMB World Tour, 2010, Mike Montgomery ended up in 11th on the FMB World Tour.
Yeah, he had a podium in Whistler that year. Definitely was a breakout year for him, and it's really exciting to see him back on the contest circuit this year in 2015.
Yeah, he's 28 years old. So he is the, can we call him a KG veteran? Is that what we could call him now, Cam, at 28?
Absolutely. 28 is definitely toward the older end of the spectrum for slopestyle competitors. He's a dad. He's got another one on the way. Congrats. And not slowing down one bit here on the slopestyle circuit.
And if you've ever had a chance to meet him, he's one heck of a guy, too. One nice guy. Mike Moe going to be the next guy. And then after Mike Montgomery, we're going to see Jakob Venzel. After that, Diego Cavarzasi on the way, Eric Valenta, Max Frederickson, Anton Telander, then Torquato Testa, Matt Jones, Carson Storch, and Nikolai Rogatkin, the #1 qualifier from yesterday.
It's quite the international field we got here after hearing you list off all those names. Scandinavia, Europe, obviously some U.S. and Canada in there.
Look, Italy, Austria, Sweden, I mean, Great Britain out there.
Awesome.
And even the country of Bend, Oregon being represented. Oh,
that's absolutely.
That's
Carson Storch representing.
So a little bit of a wind hold right now.
How's the wind down there?
Well, you can hear on the microphones that are scattered throughout the course.
So Mike Moe asking, seeing if he can get a deal on what the wind deal is on it. So here he goes right now. Mike Moe, Mike Montgomery, this is his first run, trying to beat a 74.
Mike Montgomery starting this run off with a 360 down the step down, boosting right out the top of the green wall, using that landing as a takeoff, riding it like a quarter pipe. Flat spin 450 on the left hip. Into the cannon log, standing on the seat. A seat stand takeoff, scrubbing the setup jump. Oh, double tail whip. Come on, Mike, pull through. He's got it. He fumbled the pedals on that double whip, but held on tight. Oh, back left tail off. Oh, landing.
No.
Oh, man, just getting a little bit offline.
That is like a Mr. Toad's wild ride right there out of Mike Moe.
Listen to the crowd. They're loving it. He was holding on by the seat of his pants, riding that thing like a bucking bronco.
You know what? And that's these are educated fans. They knew what was going on. You could hear the cheering pick up because he was just trying to save that run.
You know, there's obviously the judges are looking for clean landings on every single hit, but there's something really entertaining about watching a guy try a really difficult trick, fumble the pedals, recover, keep the dream alive. That's something that really, you know, the vibe, the energy that the audience gives in return's got to have an effect on the judges as well.
I'll tell you what, I think Jakob Venzel's kit is the way I like to see that, rocking the flannel out here today.
Casual Saturdays.
So 36.6 was the score for Mike Moe.
Yeah, if he could have only finished that run, it was so good.
Yeah. So Jakob Venzel from the Czech Republic out of Prague. Here we go, trying to beat a 74. Here's Jakob.
3, 2, 1.
Jakob Venzel, backflip X up on the start step down, all the way out of Czech Republic. X up into the wall ride hip and into the left wooded dirt hip. Oh, with the alley-oop 270 bar spin to X up. A tuck no hander to bar on the cannon log, getting the combination. Clean over the setup, into a backflip tail up into the first jump. Oh, this run is going just as planned here for Jakob Venzel. Opposite 360 up, regular 360 down. One last chance to make an impact on the judges with a 360 tuck no-hander.
Oh, man, some great views from the Condor cam right there. Jakob Venzel from the Czech Republic. Put those hands together for him. Doing it for Rose Bikes, 25 years old.
Oh, that was I'll use the F word. That was a fantastic run right there.
That's your F word. I like that. Fantastic.
Look at it. He just added in so many little details that mean so much to the judges' scorecard. Doing the tuck no-hander to bar off the cannon log, flip whipping the first jump, 360 tuck no-hander on the last. No, we're not seeing people 360 that jump very often because it's so steep and you're coming into it so fast. So that's got to be taken into consideration as well, doing a 360 variation rather than a flip variation.
Well, you got to wonder now, is that going to be good enough to get up in the top 3, top 1, top 2, top 1? Oh, yes, 81.3. The judges like you with that one.
Awesome. I had a feeling that run was so action-packed.
Now, keep this in perspective. We saw Nikolai, our #1 qualifier, drop a 94 yesterday and a 92. So those are the scores. You got to think that will we see a winner in the 90s today?
Oh,
will
man.
an 81 get you on the podium? Well, we're going to find out. The Italian Stallion's about ready to go. Diego Cavazzasi.
Oh, yes.
So fun to watch these guys.
These Italians are so incredibly entertaining. We were talking about it yesterday. Not only because they're new, but they're just so darn good and smooth.
2, 1.
Backflip tabletop out of Diego starting this run off. One of two really amazingly talented Italian riders we have out here in the finals today. Oh, 450 on the left-hand hip. And tail up on the cannon log. So smooth, these guys. They train on dirt jumps, double tail whip, but they're somehow able to apply these skills that they learn on small jumps on this massive slopestyle course here. Truck driver up, 360 down. What's he got on the last jump? Backflip bar spin and tail whip. Oh, he lights it out.
Sets it down. Diego.
Oh, man. Oh, look at that. He's so pumped.
The Diego signs are out.
Oh, that's so great. He was able to pull that off in his final run. He did it in practice the other day, but he also had crashes in practice. So he was able to get back on the horse and pull it out in his final run here, Colorado Freeride Festival.
Well, let's take a look at Diego going to work in the office right here.
Clicking that backflip tabletop on that step down. I was saying during the run, these guys train on smaller dirt jumps, and you see people who do that not traditionally being able to adapt those skills to a massive slopestyle course. But Diego Cavazzasi and Torquato Testa come out here and do things like this. A backflip bar spin to tail up, sending it so deep.
Wow.
That's a 30-foot long jump. He landed about the 40-foot mark.
So 4th at Dirt Masters, 7th at Montpellier. Let's see where he ends up right now. Diego checking in with the score. Can he beat an 81.3? Oh, 78.3,
Wow.
second place for Diego. So 78.3. So you can see, he's like, what?
He's going, I did a backflip bar spin to tail up.
Did you guys see that? Maybe the judges were too far away. Eric Valenta now will be next up. He's had a great year out of Austria, 9th at White Style, 10th at 26 Tricks, 4th at Glam Ride. And he finished up, made the finals last year here in Colorado, but ended up in that 11th spot. So he's seen some of the scores drop. He knows he's got to beat an 81.3. So let's see what the Austrian can throw down right now here in his first run.
It was amazing watching his qualifying run yesterday because he's so smooth and calculated.
Yeah,
He was doing a safety run, so here we are in the finals. We'll see what he's got. 360, such slow rotation on that start step down for Eric Valenta. Tail whip, catching pedals early onto the green wall hip. And into the left-hand hip, we're going hip flip. just connecting to that landing, trying to get that 90-degree rotation, tail up on the cannon log, setting up into the first trick jump. Double tail whip, catching
Perfect.
very early. Oh, this run's going awesome. Opposite 360 onto the tower. Regular 360 down. What's he got for us? Backflip tail whip, catching early and so smooth into the finish corral.
Yeah, no problem on that one. Let's hear it for him, right? Eric Valenta, the Austrian, run number 1 for him. And that's what probably the run that he has in his mind that he wants to land right there, right?
Exactly. Everything was so on point in that run. We're going to take a look back at the replay. Tail whipping, landing really high, carrying the speed off that wall hip. Then off that cannon log with the tail whip. And then this on-off box showing that he has the versatility, going opposite up, regular off, and then finishing things off with a backflip tail whip.
Yeah, he catches those pedals early, like you said on that one. Early and solid.
And a trick is one thing, but the execution of the trick is also really important. So catching pedals early, spotting your landing, and kind of absorbing that impact without any head shake or any bounce or anything like that goes a long way.
So Valenta trying to beat an 81.3. Let's see what the score is for him. And a 79.6. He moves into second place for Eric Valenta right there, 79.6.
Man, it's crazy seeing the reverse order from qualifying yesterday because each guy who comes up next qualified higher than the guy before, so it just ramps up the intensity.
And next up, Max Frederickson, a Swede doing it for Alpine Stars, 19 years young, so a youngster in the mix. But I'll tell you what, he's got some results. 3rd at Dirt Masters, 3rd Vienna Air King, 9th at Swatch Rocket Air, and 7th at 26 Tricks. Nothing below 9th place out of the 4 comps that he has done on the FMB World Tour so far this year.
We've been talking about smoothness, fluidity, how important they are, but you haven't seen smoothness and fluidity until you've watched some of these Swedish riders go down the course. Following in the footsteps of the legend Martin Soderstrom, we've got Max Frederickson here. He's going to hold up a little bit, see his shirt flapping in the breeze a little, so he's going to be smart about it, drop in when there's a slight lull.
And that's one of the good things. You get those little lulls where it backs down for just enough. You can see the Cliff Bar banner right there. Not too strong.
It's definitely calmer than in years past, but obviously these guys are looking for the calmest conditions possible, so that's why they decide to wait up a little bit.
2, 1.
Max Frederickson with a bar spin to top no-hander on the step down, getting the combination deal. Alley-oop 270 bar spin. He's already done so many tricks, he's only hit 2 features so far. Alley-oop 270 on that 90-degree hip, connecting perfect. Tail up off the cannon log, and now into the trick jump. Backflip bar spin, catching so early, landing slightly low, but regaining composure. Oh, looks like an opposite truck driver up. Oh, regular truck driver down into a backflip tail up. Oh, perfect.
That could not have been any better on that landing for the Specialized final booter right there. Let's hear it from Max Frederickson.
Oh, man, are you kidding me? I can't wait to see the replay on this run. Everything up top was so packed with variations, and then, you know, the highlight, that on-off box going, we're using that word truck driver, but that's a short form for describing a trick, which is a 360 with a bar spin. So we're going to take a look back how this run started. Tailping off the cannon, and then catching the bars real early, spotting the landing on that backflip bar spin. It was a opposite truck driver up, a regular truck driver down. We haven't seen people truck driving off of that yet, so that's huge in and of itself, but to opposite truck driver up, huge points.
Smart competitor, Max Frederickson right there. He knows what everyone else has been doing, so he's like, okay, I haven't seen that. I'll just kind of sweeten the deal here on my run. Let's see what his score is. Once again, the 81.3, the biggest score of the day. That's Jakob Venzel with that score. So that is the one that Max is trying to eclipse, and you can usually tell it's going to be a good score. The judges taking their time, making sure that everything is recorded correctly. Comparing the runs. 84.3, your new leader, Max Frederickson, 84.3.
Oh man, it just continues to progressively ramp up in intensity here. Each rider that comes next is higher qualifying than the one that preceded, and that run out of Max Frederickson, fully deserving of that straight line digit alongside his name.
Well, back-to-back Swedes here in the finals for you. Anton Telander, another Swede ready to go. He saw what his fellow countryman Max has done. And they're only a couple years apart. Max being 19, Anton being 21. Hashtag Cleanlander. Here he comes right now.
2, 1.
Anton Thielander with a backflip bar spin on the, just kind of landed a little off center on his bike. and not able to ride through the landing. He's okay. He knows he's got another opportunity, but we did not see him doing that in the qualifying round, so you know he's got big plans here for the finals.
Yeah, he knows what it's going to take. I mean, everybody saw what everyone else did yesterday, so I got to think that Anton's like, okay, well, I got to bring out the big tricks for it. Let's see what went wrong here.
So backflip bar spin, the style that he uses for that is so unique. He almost does like a cork backflip, but it looked like his foot was a little off upon landing. He had his hands on, he got the tough part out of the way, but sometimes while you're doing the bar spin, your feet tend to levitate unless you have a really good seat pinch, so I think that may have been what happened to him.
It looked like that right foot was more on the heel on that pedal, not on the sweet spot for him.
They call him clean lander because he's so smooth, but in slopestyle finals, sometimes you got to put yourself outside your comfort level, and things like that have potential to happen.
Hope I didn't just jinx him with that, did I?
No way. Ooh, look who's next, Brad.
Yeah, another one of the Italian duo that's competing out here. Torquato Testa, did not know much about him until I started researching him a little bit a few months ago. 8th at Bike Days, 8th at Dirt Masters. Torquato Testa, run number one.
Torquato Testa start things off huge with a backflip no-footed can off the step down. We saw him doing that in the qualification rounds. Alley-oop 270 bar spin on the wall hip. And he's sticking right to the plan with a double tail up on the left, 90-degree angle, hip, 360 on the cannon log. Oh, man, he is so on point out here. Backflip, tail whip, landing so smooth on the first trick jump. We got that condor cam angle. Opposite 360 up, regular 360 down, landing smooth, carrying speed. Backflip pendulum on the last jump. Wow, upping the difficulty from his qualification run.
Let's hear it for Torquato Testa right there from Italy. Run number one for him, and that's a banger out of him. He's trying to still beat that 84.3 that Max Frederickson posted up. Jakob Venzel's 81.3. Let's take a look at this, Cam.
So the double tail up here, he was doing that yesterday in qualifying, making it look way too easy. These two guys out of Italy are so smooth and have such a deep bag of tricks. For an example, look at that backflip tail up, but this is when stuff really started to heat up. The opposite 360 up, the regular 360 down, and right now we're going to walk you through this, the backflip with two no-footed cans, one to the right, one to the left. It's called a backflip pendulum.
Pendulum.
You know, think of your clock. It's going back and forth each direction, so it kind of makes sense. Truck driver, that doesn't really make sense, that name, but pendulum.
It doesn't need to make sense. All right, is it enough? An 84.3. Torquato Testa for Beto Bikes trying to see if he can do it, and he's done it. An 88 for Torquato. Boom, right there. That's how you get her done. He'll take over that top spot with that one, no doubt about it.
I happened to run into Ale Di Lullo, the legendary photographer out of Italy, this morning in the hotel, and he said, man, I never thought there would be Italian riders who could threaten the podium at a huge slopestyle contest. I said, Ale, man, come out and watch the show today because Diego and Torquato, they're gunning for that top spot.
Well, welcome to 2015, man, because I'll tell you what, we're seeing it's a truly international field all across the board being represented out here. And only 2 stops in the USA on the FMB World Tour, this being one of them, the gold stop, and then Red Bull Rampage, which happens in October out there in Zion. And that's a diamond event on the FMB World Tour. But next up, Matt Jones, 2nd at Bike Days, 2nd at White Style, 9th at 26 tricks, and won it at Dirt Wars. Here's Matt Jones out of Great Britain.
Matt Jones, the GB rider, the backflip tough no-hander, getting huge extension off that start step down. Alley-oop 270 bar spin, landing about as high as you possibly can on that wall hip. And alley-oop 270 bar spin again on that 90-degree hip. Over spinning the 360, connecting perfect to the tranny on that cannon log. Into the first dirt jump, 360 tuck no-hander to bar spin.
Wow.
Wow, adding so much into that one jump, backflip onto the box, 360 off. What's he got for the final feature? Oh,
dreamy.
Backflip Superman.
Now, he had that yesterday. I think that's what helped him get qualified in that 3rd spot. That backflip Superman and putting it down right there for Matt Jones out of Great Britain, doing it for Red Bull.
His backflip Superman yesterday was great, and his backflip Superman today was greater. Fully horizontal, held it off for so long. The space between his body and his bike was massive.
Well, we'll take a look at that here via our replays here of Matt Jones.
He carried so much speed because he landed so high. A couple of those alley-oop 270 bar spins, 316 off the platform. And here's my favorite part of this. Oh, wow. It is so hard to actually get horizontal on a backflip Superman.
You're right. That was greater.
It was greater. Making it look easy.
Cam McCall, Brad J on the mic with you. Colorado Freeride Festival, your Maxxis Slopestyle finals underway here. Live from Winter Park, Colorado. Matt Jones, the score to beat is an 88 right now Torquato, the Italian stallion, dropping that one. What does Matt Jones get? And an 86.3 into second place for Matt Jones. He'll take that one.
Very respectable. And keep in mind, these guys are also fighting for invitations to upcoming events. So the highest finishing.
Yes, what would you say? You said that earlier. The highest finishing guy who's not in for Joyride can get in. Is that how it works?
They can earn themselves a spot in the granddaddy of them all, Joyride, next month. So these guys are fighting for more than just the prize money and the glory out here. They're trying to move on and have more opportunities for the rest of the season.
Making a career for themselves for sure. Next up, Carson Storch now. Carson Storch out of Bend, Oregon, doing it for Diamondback, 22 years old. He was 12th, made the finals last year. And earlier in the season, third at Glam Ride.
Carson Storch so incredibly focused this season on the slopestyle contest scene.
He is 100% ready to go.
Yeah, Carson.
Doing it for Dekine. Here we go. Carson Storch coming in hot.
Carson Storch qualifying second yesterday. 360 table, adding a variation on that start step down. Already improving on his run. Inward table onto the green wall hip. He's already improving on his run right now. Flat spin 450, landing so smooth on the hip. Opposite. Oh, that was such a good opposite spin. Bar spin off of the setup jump. 360 tail up on the first trick jump. Oh, he's not even taking a pedal between features. Tuck no hander up. What's he got? Flat drop backflip. Oh man, one last jump for Carson Storch. Backflip tail up to the pedals. Oh, as clean as it gets.
Are you kidding me? Carson Storch showing you why he qualified in that second spot yesterday. He is pumped right now.
How many times do you think he spent just visualizing and picturing that run between?
You tell me.
Oh,
You've been up in that position.
All day. How many hours has there been? 24 since qualifying. He's been thinking about this exact run, going exactly how it did here in finals all day. Just picturing every last little detail working perfectly. Getting that tuck no hander up. The flat drop backflip is going to weigh so heavy in this competition because it's such a new, progressive, and high-scoring move, and he's the only one doing it out here at Colorado Freeride Festival.
So waiting for the score to come in for Storch, trying to beat an 88. He did it yesterday. I think that was a low 90 out of him yesterday that qualified him in the second. So can he do it? Carson Storch trying to take over the top spot as our #1 qualifier comes up. 91 for Carson Storch. He's taking over the top spot with that 91. That's better than yesterday.
That is so awesome to see. His run was so well-rounded. Trick variety being the strength of that run.
Let's check in. A third member of our team, Mark Sullivan, standing by with Carson.
All right, Carson, we're here. You just qualified second yesterday. You switched up your run. Can you walk us through that run?
Yeah, I just started off with the table, another thing, flat spin, spun a 450 the other direction. I brought a little stick jump, and then three-lip, tuck, flat flip, and brook flip.
So you can change up anything for your next run.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the sport's just so good, and it flows so well, and it's just fun to ride, so I'll just feel it out, and let's see what happens.
So last year you finished 12th place. Here. Yesterday you qualified in second. You're clearly a favorite here. What changed in the last year for you?
Just, I don't know, just having more fun on my bike and more experience, and yeah.
So what advice do you have for kids who want to ride like you?
Just have fun, flow.
Cool. Well, congratulations and good luck with next run.
What has changed in 1 year? Just maybe just a little bit more focus, Cam? What do you think about
Well, he's
Carson?
always been such a focused rider, but you know, the thing that he was stressing when Mark was asking him what's different this year, he's saying, I'm having fun. And it's so important. Your head has to be in it. You can't just be focused. You have to be passionate. And that's what Carson Storch has this year.
All right, this guy, the year of Nikolai, I've called it. He has won so many events. He's competed in so many. He was your #1 qualifier. Now, look, both of his scores yesterday were above that 91 that we just saw out of Carson Storch. So if Nikolai can put down the run that's in his mind right now or the runs that he landed yesterday, he would take over that top spot. So you got to wonder, maybe a little pressure up there on Nikolai Rogatkin, but look at what he's done. Second in Rotorua, first at Bike Days, first at Vienna Air Kings, and the list goes on. But here he comes right now, Nikolai Rogatkin, run #1.
Nikolai Rogatkin start things off again with a double tail up on the step down. That's how he was able to win qualifying yesterday. Once again, that 450 on the wall hip, taking tons of speed. Oh, Superman seat grab on that left hip, tail up on the cannon log, carrying things over to plan. I know he has a huge trick on this first jump. Oh, he's going cash roll today. Wow, upping the ante from his qualifying run. Front flip onto the buck, that's also new. Tail whip down.
No!
Oh, can you hold it together? Cork 7 on the last jump. Oh,
No!
Oh, wow. Oh, man, that's the trick that he's been doing so many times in practice. He had the new flares that he added onto the run, the stuff that he hadn't done yesterday, but he crashed on the thing that he's been doing all week, essentially.
You guys know what to do. Put your hands together for Nikolai Rogatkin. Come on, Winter Park.
You know, it's more of a, you know, he's so focused and he knows he has the ability to do all these tricks. So I think it's more frustration at this point and just a desire to get back up to the top of that course and try it again.
He's a gamer, that is for sure. That guy is all about business. If you didn't join, let's take a look at these replays here.
So,
he switched it up. He didn't do the fronty.
Well, things were going according to plan here. He was doing the same run as qualifying until he got to this jump, and he did the cash roll up in the ante. He had a front flip bar spin on that jump yesterday, and he was not front flipping onto this yesterday. That's the first time we've seen him do it. And this tail whip right here, he landed a little low and maybe had a little bit different speed than he was expecting, so the rotation on that was a little bit over, and he slid out on that cork 7. Man.
Well, I'll tell you what. Don't go anywhere because this thing is definitely heating up here at Colorado Freeride Festival in full effect. Your Maxxis Slopestyle Finals, run number 1 in the books. And when we come back, it's all about run number 2. That's next. And we are back to the action here, your Maxxis Slopestyle Finals. Right here live from Winter Park, Colorado, your Colorado Freeride Festival. It's all about the finals. Yesterday was our qualifications. Cam McCall, legendary freerider alongside. My name is Brad J., your host announcer out here. And now all the riders, Cam, have seen what everyone can do, and now they're going to come back at it for run number 2, man.
Man, run 1 was a doozy. Carson Storch occupying that hot seat for the moment, dodging a bullet when Nikolai wasn't able to finish his run, just crashed on that last feature. Can't wait to see everybody drop in for their second runs.
Well, you know what? No matter if you're the favorite or you're the guy that posted up the big scores, you got to still land your run. And with only 2 runs to actually get the run in that you want to land in, it's not that easy. Your back's against the wall when you don't land that first one, right?
It can sometimes be almost more daunting having that top qualifying position the day before, knowing that you have to repeat on that greatness the day after.
Yeah, I wonder what the thought process, of course, with You know, Nikolai kind of changing up his run from yesterday. I mean, that run yesterday gave him a 92 and a 94.
Well, you know, I think it was a good call because the tricks that he changed out, he improved. He did harder tricks.
Good point, yep.
And the one that he messed up on was something that he has been doing all week. So I think his game plan is right on point. He's just going to have to execute it.
All right, so we get set for Daryl Brown. Taking a look at what's going on right now. Carson Storch out of Bend, Oregon, representing big time 91. And you got the Italian right there in second, Torquato Testa. And then Matt Jones out of Great Britain in that third spot. Then you got Max Frederickson, Jakob Venzel, Eric Valenta, Diego, Reed, Ray, and DJ Brandt, the local favorite in that 10th spot. And now it's go time. Like all these guys who've posted those scores, they're looking at it now going, okay, whatever run I did before, if I want to get on the podium now, I'm going to need to step it up.
You know what to improve upon. You've got a good baseline, and most of these guys are just thinking nonstop about how they could just add a little bit in here and there to increase the number next to their name. So Daryl Brown, we see him in the start gate. He's going to kick off our second runs here, Colorado Freeride Fest Slopestyle Finals 2015. Getting down to the wire here. Truly final runs, second of two.
You got any course clear yet?
I think it's all good.
Yeah, copy that. We're ready to roll. That's course clear.
So Daryl Brown up there just making sure that the course is clear, getting everything set for round two here, making sure the wind is calm. It's looking pretty good out here. We're in a mountain town, so you do always have to wonder what kind of weather you're going to get, but lucking out today, an amazing forecast, and it pulled through. We've got the blue sky, the calm winds, perfect recipe for a slopestyle competition. Daryl Brown dropping in for his second run here. Oh, it looks like he got a truck driver on the start step down here. Already adding some flair into his run, popping high out of that green wall with a bar spin into the left-hand hip. Tuck no-hander holding it for so long on that hip. 360 on the cannon log, setting up into the first trick jump. It's going to be a 360 tuck no-hander, once again holding those hands off for the majority of his airtime. Bar spin on top of the on-off box, 360 down. What's he got on the final trick jump? Backflip tuck no-hander. Definitely improving on his first run, Daryl Brown.
Daryl Brown doing what he needed to do. You got to, as we say, up the ante a little bit. And he had the 66.6 is what he had on run number one.
If I remember correctly, he wasn't able to get the hands off on his first run, so there was a couple different items that he improved on that run, and definitely that last jump was one of them. Bar spinning high out of that green wall, 316 smooth off of that cannon log, and then just look at how long he holds his hands off on this 360 tuck no-hander. Usually see people just sneaking their hands off. He holds them off. Bar spin going for the X-up combo on top of the on-off box, 360 down, flip tuck no-hander to finish things off. Got a nice little dog shot for you there, Brad. You like the Bulldogs?
I like the Bulldogs. Bulldogs getting a front row seat right here. It's waiting for Daryl Brown's score to come in. 66.6, that's what he had on the first run, and he did up at a 73.3, ninth place. Let's hear it for Daryl Brown. The higher you finish up there, that's the most important thing about it. DJ Brandt, tell you the most tweets out of any rider out here.
The boys. Gotta do it. Oh, send it, DJ.
He's got smiles on his face. That's a good thing when you smile, right? Is it are you loose up there, Cam?
Well, slopestyle is so mental. You have to be enjoying the process, and DJ seems to always be enjoying everything he's doing. Enjoying catching pedals on that tail up down the start, step down, and so much style on that alley-oop 270 table into the wall hip. Now hip flip on the 90-degree left hip, and a truck driver once again on the cannon log. Backflip on the trick jump, definitely looking for a variation on that. But here's a variation for you that nobody else is doing. Sit down, no-hander, takeoff, up the up box. Oh no, when he 360 down, he was a little bit offline and missed the final feature.
Put your hands together for the local boy right there, DJ Brandt. DJ Brandt coming out trying to do what he could to get up in that top mix. A 70.3 is what he had on run number one. Don't think that is going to be an improvement for Mr. DJ Brandt, but I'll tell you what, he's definitely a fan favorite out here at Winter Park, Colorado, the local boy, DJ Brandt. We'll see where that one gets him. Still the top score of the day, man. Ups to Carson Storch, the only score we've seen in the 90s. The tweets have been coming in. And taking a look at some of the replays right here, and see, that's what went wrong for him right there. You miss it, you miss a beat, lose the rhythm, unfortunately, for DJ Brandt. And one tweet in from Max at Menele saying Nikolai is not human. Sometimes I'm agreeing with that, man.
I think he's more Hulk than human. When he lands his run, he flexes and turns green. It's crazy.
So 70.3, that's the one he's going to keep. So one more time, let's hear for the local favorite, DJ Brandt. Now we'll get set for Mitch McPhee. For Troy Lee and for Smith.
Send it, dog.
Mitch McPhee, definitely one of my favorite riders to watch out here. One of the newer riders.
2, 1.
There we go, suicide no-hander on the step down to start things off for Mitch McPhee. Bar spinning into the green wall hip. And what does he got for us? That downside one-footed can-can on the left 90-degree hip. Shoulder buzz tabletop on the cannon log. Bar spinning that setup jump. The only person we're seeing doing that is the guy who's sitting in the hot seat right now, Carson Storch. So tricking absolutely everything is always important. Truck driver up on top of the on-off box. Bar spin down. And can he get his combo up here? Tuck no-hander to finish things off for Mitch McPhee.
Mitch McPhee, his second run of the day for him.
I see bright things in the future for this guy. He's just got that smooth riding style and the composure that you see in guys like Brandon Seminook. So, you know, I remember watching some of those guys who are big names now when they started out, and there's something reminiscent in Mitch McPhee's riding.
So Mitch McPhee waiting for that one to come in. His best score, the 58.6, as we check the replays here.
He had that bar spin onto the wall hip. He also bar spin that setup jump, which only 2 people are doing, and the other guy is sitting in the hot seat right now, so you know that means a lot. Truck driving up onto the on-off box, bar spinning down, and you know, it looked like he's been trying to get tuck no-hander to bar spin on that all week, but once again, just not able to get both of those tricks.
So the 58.6 most likely will be the top one. Has him in that 14th spot, but just making the finals. Very respectable. So 55.3. So he keeps the 58.6. Let's hear it for Mitch McPhee. That's going to wrap up his day. He's going to sit in that 14th spot. This one in on hashtag CFS. Joss Verplank says, skid in your shorts, not corners.
Nice.
Yes.
See, we asked for some weird comments out of left field.
That's comedic. You asked for comedic, right?
Yep. Skids in your shorts. When is that not funny?
Send it when you're ready.
A little poop humor there. Reed Boggs up next. Reed 74 in 8, so he's in the top 10. Here comes Reed.
Reed Boggs backflipping the start step down, landing smooth and carrying tons of speed. He goes higher than most on that huge green wall hip with a one-footed flat table. Tail whipping the left hand 90-degree hip. And 360 off the cannon log. Tuck no-hander, he's trying to, oh no, he threw away his run on the setup jump. What a drag. Oh man, he was seeing guys tricking that long and low. Carson Storch bar spinning it, Mitch McPhee also bar spinning it. He thought, you know what, I'll try to tuck no-hander, it'll be different, and he'll be the only, one of 3 people tricking it. But, that's why not too many people are tricking it. It's really tough to do and land proper for that next trick jump.
And that's also just trying to squeeze something else in, trying to get as many tricks in as you can.
Yeah, anytime you're in the air and the judges are watching, it's a good idea to do something.
Greg Watts now, the 69 is what he had. That's down in the 12th spot. That's exactly where he qualified, in that 12th spot. But I'll tell you what, this man is a veteran when it comes to slopestyle competition. Good friend of yours, Cam, and here we go. It's Greg Watts time.
Yep, Greg Watts still doing it. A guy who's won the granddaddy of them all out in Whistler. And here he is starting this run off with a massively stretched backflip suicide no-hander. You're not going to see anybody else doing that trick on that feature. X up into the wall, transfer. Getting the bar spin this time on that hip. He needed that. He hesitated, but he got it. 360 X up on the cannon log. He has already improved on his run before. Can he hold it together? Getting the 360 on that trick jump. He may have wanted to take his hands off, but he's got 3 more trickable features. Backflip on top of the box, 360 down. Now he's got to drop the hammer. Backflip bar spin, double bar spin. A backflip double bar spin for Greg Watts.
Man, he is always keeping it going. Greg Watts.
I want to see the replay on that because it's possible he may have done a backflip bar spin, a bar spin back, so we're going to have to see the slow-mo, but definitely packing the tricks into that run and improving on his first run.
Well, here's that replay you asked for, Cam.
Well, look at that stretch on that backflip, suicide no-hander on the step down, a trick that nobody else can be doing. He got that bar spin on that hip, which he missed in his first run. The 360X up was smooth. And then the 360, he's looking for a variation on that. But let's look. Backflip bar spin that way. Nope, there's a double bar spin. Backflip with 2 bars. Definitely milking all that airtime for what it's worth.
All right, Greg Watts in the 12th spot, 69. That's the score that he put up on that first run. Let's see what Greg Watts is going to get. A 70, so he is going to remain in 12th, but an improvement by 1 point. Let's hear it for the legend that is Greg Watts right there, wrapping up his day. Every little point counts right there. And Greg Watts adding 1 more digit to that one.
We were just writing him down.
And now we got Ray George coming up.
You had 2 Colorado riders in a row. You got 2 Santa Cruz riders in a row. People seem to have qualified in order of their region, wherever they hail from.
Well, Zach Chill had sent one in, a tweet saying Ray George looks like Drake on a bike. So Ray George getting some props from Zach Chill.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
Dumped 360 on that start step down. Ray George, alley-oop opposite 270 into that wall transfer hip. And catching the pedals early, going really high, getting the amplitude points on that tail whip. 360 that cannon log, landing nice and high. And into the trick jump. What does he have for us? He's going for the double tail whip again.
Yes!
Oh, even smoother than he had in qualifying. Tuck no hander onto the on-off box. 360 down with so much style into the last jump with a backflip tuck no hander.
And gets it in for Ray George. Smooth as glass for Ray George. Run number 2, a 72 on run number 1. It's going to be up to the judges. Is that going to be an improvement? He's giving double thumbs up on that one.
Did he ever clean up the scraps from his first run? Everything that he may have possibly missed in his first run, he made up for in this second run. Taking a look back, we had that opposite alley-oop 270, making it look regular because it's so smooth and natural looking. Tail up in that hip. And here into the trick jump, the double tail up. He slipped pedals in qualifying, not in finals. Straight 2 feet to the pedals. Tuck no hander onto the box, a stylish 360 down, and was able to gain composure for this backflip tuck no hander to finish things off.
So now in the judges' hands, let's see where he goes. The Polygon rider right there waiting for his score to come in. Does he beat the 72 that he got in 10th place? And a 77.3 into 8th place for Ray George.
Massive point improvement for Ray George on his second run.
I am done for the day.
And you can hear him, I'm done for the day, in words by him right there.
Well, that's a good little insight into what's going on inside these guys' heads. There's no bigger relief than stomping your run and knowing that you did your job for the day.
And also finishing in that 8th spot. That's pretty important too as well. The higher you finish, the better your rankings are in the FMB World Tour, the better your chances are for more competitions. Mike Moe up next. Now, Mike had that, went down on that first run, so if he could just get a clean one top to bottom.
I would love to see how that run scores actually because it had so much originality and difficulty, but he unfortunately missed the last feature. So if he can pull a full pull on this one, it's going to be cool to see what numbers the judges give him.
This gust blows over, I guess.
Yeah.
So just a slight wind hold, and you can see that he has his goggles off right now.
It's a tad.
Just a tad is what he's saying.
Yeah. How do you measure wind? How is it? Well, there's a tad of wind. Okay, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Come on, was it like 10 from the northwest? What is it?
Yeah. 5 to 10 knots out of the northwest with gust up to 15. What is it?
You know what we need? We need some military expertise. There was one year at Rampage, there was a guy out there who used to be a sniper, and he had the ability to kind of gauge the wind and predict what it was going to do next.
Yeah, dog.
So if anybody out here used to be a
Mike.
sniper, we can use your expertise.
Sniper. Here comes Mike Moe, second and final run. Trying to get a full pull in here.
There we go. We're all rooting for Mike Montgomery here. 360 down the start, step down, going real high, riding that wall hip like a quarter pipe. And that flat spin 450 on that hip, landing so smooth. Seat stand takeoff to no but can. That's what he's going for in the first run. Scrubbing the setup. Oh. Tail whip and landing it. Oh, we are always on the edge of our seats anytime Mike Montgomery is dropping in for a contest run. One-footed berm slider off the drop and a
Come on,
360 backwards paddle spin
Yeah.
on the last jump. A full pull for Mike Montgomery.
Full pull, got a little sketched in there, but I like his style because he stays with it. It ain't over until he gets to the end.
You know, we talk about how the judges like composure and quiet body movements, but there's nothing more entertaining than watching a guy scrub the setup jump and just on the edge the entire run. It almost threw it away for him before that trick jump there, but he was able to recover.
It's good because you don't see him get frustrated. He's just like, okay, I can do this. I got this. I'll throw that behind me now.
Now, see, that when he did that seat stand takeoff, he then did the no-foot can on that cannon log. Then that 360 we were talking about earlier, it is a difficult jump to 360. So, yeah, it was a 360 with the pedals going backwards, maybe not as high score as a backflip bar spin to tail it, but it's still really difficult to spin that jump.
And a 63.3, that's going to be a score. 14th place, put your hands together for Mike Montgomery. Mike Mo, done for the day. And such an exciting rider to watch, too.
That's the thing, is when Mike Montgomery's on course, everybody's got their eyes peeled on that bright riding gear.
So Jakob Venzel will be next up.
Jakob Venzel, the other guy that we saw 360 in that last jump. You know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's only 2 guys so far doing 360 variations on that last jump.
And Jakob, he's up there in the mix with that 81.3. So he's up there in the top 5 in that 5th spot with the 81.3 that he had. So a chance for him to move up into the top 3. Can he do it? Jakob Venzel. He just going to go to the Czech Republic. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Doing it out of Prague
Jakob.
for Rose Bikes. Here he comes, Jakob Venzel.
3, 2, 1.
Jakob Venzel with an extended backflip X up on that start step down, getting the variation and X up onto the wall hip. What's he got for us on this left-hand 90-degree hip? Oh, man. Looked like maybe a double triangle. Oh, flat flip on the cannon log. That is so difficult. That thing is slightly hip. Backflip, tail whip on the trick jump. Wow, he's pulling out all the stops. Opposite 360 up onto the box. Regular 360 down. On the big booter, 360 tuck no-hander. Wow, I did not see that coming.
If you're going to pull out the stops, you're going to do it on run number 2. Top 5 already. Does he improve for Jakob Venzel? But you know what to do. Winter Park, give it up for Jakob Venzel here. Run number 2.
Oh, man, there were so many parts of that run that I didn't expect. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. Hopefully we see some of those elements. The X up onto the wall. And then here we go. Yep, it was a double truck driver on the hip. And then this is the highlight for me right here. Flipping that cannon log has got to be so difficult because it's off camber, it's also hipped, and it's a cannon log. Flipping that is just about, you know, similar difficulty as flipping the flat drop that we saw Carson doing. There's no transition, so you got to jet your legs out and create the lip for yourself.
Yeah, there's no room for error on that too as well. So Jakob just he knows what he needs to do. I mean, he's in striking distance in that top 5 position off to that first run.
So good.
So mysterious sometimes. You know, you have riders who compete a lot, but they keep their big tricks that may be new to their arsenal until you have a great occasion like this.
Can he do it? Trying to beat a 91. Jakob Venzel in a top 5 position right now. And 87.3, that's a podium spot right now in 3rd place for Jakob Venzel. Let's hear it for him right now. And he can do nothing now but just kind of wait and see how this plays out, Cam.
Yeah, he did his job. Now he just kind of gets to see what everybody else is willing to dump out of their bag in this second run of our finals.
It does. It could change everybody else's game plan, too. They're like, okay, wait, I was on the podium. Now Jakob is in that 3rd spot. So what do I got to add to my run to knock him back out of there?
We just never know what secrets people have planned. Jakob had that log flip as a secret. And does Diego have a secret for us right here?
Diego,
Carver Saucy, 78.3, run number 1.
Backflip tabletop on the
Nice.
start step down. Kicking things off the way he has been all day there. Tabletop onto that wall transfer and into the left-hand hip. Oh, wow. There looked like to be a variation on that 450. I couldn't tell if it was an X-up or a bar spin. Tail whipping, the cannon log, and into the trick jump. This is where he thrives. Double tail whip, making
Nice.
it look way too easy as he has been all week. Truck driver up, and a 360 down for Diego. He hasn't been doing that. Backflip bar spin, oh! I mean, obviously a backflip bar spin is great right there. We saw his first run, he did backflip bar spin and tail whip. Such a difficult maneuver, trying to just find the time for it.
Now we'll see if that's going to change up his score, but he might just be stuck in that same position where he is at. But so excited to watch the 2 Italian riders show up here and do their thing this whole entire weekend here. Colorado Freeride Festival for your Maxxis. There we go. Maxxis Slopestyle final.
There's their buddy Evo there. He's one of their friends from back in Italy. He's a trail builder, builds all their training facilities.
Did he tell him to switch his camera on?
Yeah, no, he's got all kinds of funny little sarcastic messages on that cardboard box. So yeah, it looked like it was a 450X up on that hip. It's kind of hard to tell through the screen, but it was definitely a variation. He's been just spinning it straight before, and that double tail, I swear he could do it all day.
So Diego, we wait for the score to come in 7, so he's in the top 10 right now. 78.3, 77, so he's gonna keep score number 1. That's gonna do it. Let's hear it for Diego Carversasi.
Man, you know, these guys, these Italian riders, Diego and Torquato, I can tell you right now, they are here to stay.
Yeah, these are guys that you'll be seeing for a long time to come in a lot of different competitions in the future for sure. Now we take it back up top to Eric Valenta. Now he had the 79.6 was the score for Valenta, and that's a top 6. That's good stuff out of Valenta right now. Can he improve on that? The Austrian dropping it next. Here we go. Second and final run for Eric Valenta.
Eric Valenta, 360 in the top step down. Looked like he was trying to get that no-hander. Oh, unfortunately, he's going to call it right there after the first feature. I'm not sure if he had a mechanical, but he's waving it off, and that's going to be it for Eric Valenta out of Austria.
Once again, finishing up there, top 6 position for him. That's good stuff. You want to be up there. Every point you can, or every position you can leapfrog, it does you justice right there for him.
For sure, we were mentioning it before, but there's more on the line than just the prize money and the podium glory out here. They're trying to get points for the next events on the tour.
It's how you also get invited to pristine events too. It's like show that you got something to match the other riders, like Max Frederickson, the Swede. He's in the top 5. Young dude, 84.3 was the score that he had. Only 19 years old for Alpine Stars. Here we go. Max Frederickson dropping in. Second run for him.
Max Frederickson, double tail would be the start step down.
Wow.
Wow, the only guy we've seen do that so far is Nikolai Rogatkin. Alley-oop, 270, tuck no-hander on that wall hip. And the 270 on the 90-degree left hip for Max Frederickson, tail-upping the cannon log. Into the first trick jump, backflip bar spin, pulling it around the last minute, just squeezing onto that landing. Opposite truck driver up, getting that regular truck driver down. Oh, that's such a high-scoring combo. And a backflip tail whip.
Oh! Tell you, I did not know much about him. I did a little research on him a few months ago, and man, he's been turning heads, and he's shown his riding skills out here today for sure, and yesterday, Max Frederickson. Another name that we're going to be seeing for a long time to come.
And obviously, because he's such a smart competitor, knowing that Nikolai Rogatkin qualified first yesterday by double tail upping the start step down, he said, all right, I got a good one in the bag. I'll try something a little bit more difficult. And then he got right back on track, continuing on the path that he started in his first run, doing the oppo truck up, the regular truck down, and he could do this flip whip all day, making it look so smooth, getting those execution points. Can't wait to see what the score is here for Max Frederickson.
Yeah, the young Swede, we'll see. If you got guys like Martin Soderson that you watch compete, I'm sure he's got a lot of influence from Martin and from Anton.
That's what you see.
84.3, that's a score from his first run. He's in 5th, the 19-year-old. Trying to beat a 91. Carson Storch has the 91. That's the one he's trying to beat to take over that top spot. Is it enough to get into a podium position right now? This is the part that's probably just the killing it part when you're down there just going,
oh, the intensity.
You've been in that position many times, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's something cool about that position because he's done his job. Now the judges have the hard task.
Yeah.
You know, he did what he needed to do. So he's just got to sit back, relax, and see what number they assign to that masterpiece of a run.
87, he's moved up a spot into 4th place for Max Frederickson. He's got a strong upside. Put your hands together for Max one more time for the young Swede at 19 years old.
No shortage of talented Swedes out here. And you were mentioning Martin Soderstrom. He's able to usher in the new talent from Sweden. Watching these guys have similar riding styles, you know, it makes you think these guys coming out from Italy, it's the first Italian riders we've seen on the big stage. Are they going to inspire our next generation? Will Italy be a hot spot here in the future?
Well, you know, and there's such a great competitors and such nice guys too. Martin definitely one of those guys. Anton, another super respectable Swede. representative out here doing it for Canyon Bikes and Fox. Here we go. Next up, Anton Thielander.
Anton Thielander, you know what he wants on this, the backflip bar spin. He threw it away with that on the first run, but he nails it perfect here in the second run. Flaring that wall hip. He was talking about that practice. Wasn't sure if he was going to be able to pull it off, but it was so smooth. And it was an opposite flare actually, because he went regular spin on that hip. Oh, going down on the tail whip. Oh, that run was going so good. He had the backflip bar spin. He had the opposite flare, the regular 270. But man,
All right, well, I'll tell you what, we'll just have to see one run. There's a look at our judges right there. Well, coming back at you, we got our top 4 qualifiers. Only 4 more runs to go here in your Colorado Freeride Festival, your Maxxis Slopestyle Finals. We'll finish our top 4 guys. They're coming up right after this.
Denver Health East Grand Community Clinic and Emergency Center. Conveniently located at the base of Winter Park Resort, next to Ski Patrol. Our expertly trained staff provides patient-centered care and has all of the resources in place to put you back on the mountain. Convenient medical care when and where you need it. For information, call 970-726-4299. For a life-threatening emergency, dial 911. Denver Health. Level 1 care for all.
Well, it comes down to this, a picturesque day here in Winter Park, Colorado for your Colorado Freeride Festival. Cam McCall, Brad J on the mic for you, and only 4 more riders to go. And we're talking about our top 4 qualifiers. We're talking about Torquato Testa, then you're talking about Matt Jones, Carson Storch, and Nikolai Rogatkin, the #1 qualifier. Nikolai has yet to land that run, fell on the last hit on the first run. He's the guy who's had the biggest scores, but you got to think with Torquato, he's in second right now. He's probably trying to put something up in the 90s. And here he comes from Italy with an 88 on run #1. Torquato Testa.
oh, Torquato Testa, backflip tail up on the step down. I can tell you for sure that's the first time he's ever flip whipped a step down. He was talking about it in practice, thinking he may want to try it. Going double tail up on that hip. Oh man, can he hold on to this one? 360 on the cannon log. Despite windy conditions, he's pulling out all the stops. Backflip. Oh, I think that may have been a backflip opposite tail whip. Oh, I'm pretty sure it was. He's still going. He made it up onto the box, but not enough speed to continue off. Oh man, Torquato Testa.
No matter what an amazing day for the young Italian rider. Let's hear it for Torquato Testa. That one didn't go his way, but he's in a podium position right now to see if that's going to hold up, that 88.
He was shooting for the gold, and he didn't get it because, you know, he aimed a little too high, but what he did was he improved, like, just his ability to flip the switch and pull the trigger and try something so uncomfortable. He had not backflip tail up the step down until 5 seconds ago. And let's look at this. It was a backflip opposite tail up. So the way he's composing that run, thinking, all right, flip with the step down, backflip opposite tail up the jump. Super well rounded. All the boxes checked if you were only able to continue it and finish it into the finish corral.
Oh man, what if? I'll tell you what, but 88 right now, he's still in a podium position with 3 more riders to go. But he knows he's not safe because Nikolai Rogatkin, who's the #1 guy, he's going to go last. He's already, he fell on that first run, so he's not up in the top 3, so he could bump him down. Matt Jones right now, keeping himself hydrated in that 5th spot, 86.3 is what Matt Jones has. Now he knows who's following him. He knows Carson's already got a better score, so he's trying to beat a 91 right now for the top spot, or an 88 to knock Torquato out of that second spot. So here comes Matt Jones, second and final run here today, your Maxxis Slopestyle final.
Matt Jones stretching the hands off, upside down, that backflip tuck no hander on the start step down. Well, alley-oop flare on the wall hip. I had not seen that before. Alley-oop 270 on the 90-degree hip, coming right into the cannon feature, going straight air. He knows he bobbled on that alley-oop flare. 360 on the first trick jump. I'm not sure if he's waving this one off. Well, maybe not. He's flipping up onto the tower.
That doesn't look like a wave off.
No, well, I think he actually is waving this one off.
Yeah, there you go.
He decided to experiment a little bit, try to push his limits and do that alley-oop flare. I heard him talking about that in practice, saying, you know, that's something that I don't think I could actually do, but if it comes down to it, I'll try it. So that's kind of what you got to do in the finals. Sometimes it doesn't go your way.
Well, let's hear it from Matt Jones right there. Top 5 finish right now, if that's going to hold up for him.
So what Carson Storch is doing right now is he's just sitting there dodging bullets. He's got a target on his back, and it's just bullet dodged after bullet dodged.
Yeah, what is he going to try and answer back with? That's what got him right there.
And he barely bobbled on that, considering it's something that this morning he wasn't even sure he would even try. It was really close to being perfect.
So now it comes down to just 2 more riders to go. And if you're Carson Storch, what's your game plan here? You're already the leader at 9-1, but you know Nikolai had posted a 92 and a 94 yesterday. What do you do if you're Carson Storch here? If you were Carson Storch, what would you do?
So Carson is in the best possible position, but also the most difficult position. He has an opportunity to better his run right now. What does he do to better a seemingly perfect run? I have no idea, but he doesn't have the luxury of going last. Nikolai Rogatkin goes last based off of his qualifying results from yesterday. So Nikolai is gunning for the lead. If he lands his run, who knows, it's going to be close. So Carson's going to have to play some defense right now.
What is Carson Storch going to do at 91? This would be the biggest win of his career right now if he could put this one together here today. You can see Nikolai looking on behind him. Here comes Carson Storch. He's your current leader. Second and final run for Carson.
Carson Storch clicking the 360 table on the start step down. What is he going to do to better this run? The inward table landing really high on that wall hip, coming in with good speed to the 4th. Opposite spin on that cannon log. Bar spin once again on the setup jump. 360 tail whip. Oh, dropping 1 foot, but still enough speed to carry on. Tuck no hander up. Can he get that flat drop flip? He gets it once again. And one last jump, backflip tail whip. Wow, he was trying to squeeze in a tabletop after catching pedals on that flip whip, Brad.
You know, he knows who's behind him. He knows that Nikolai is the #1 qualifier, so he's like, man, I got to put everything in right now to see if I can up that 91. Not sure if that's going to up it from that 91. He might be just resting on the 91 and see if Nikolai can do something about it.
Well, what it is Carson Storch couldn't sit back and just let Nikolai have full control. He had to drop in and try to do whatever he could to better an almost seemingly perfect run. Getting that 360 tail up, just not as smooth as he had it in the first run. But the flat drop flip went to plan. And look at this, he catches the tail up and tries to do a little tabletop. You know, just thinking, what can I do to better that run? Add in one more variation on the last jump. Well, he's done his job. That smile says it all.
No, now it's out of his hands right now. 91 on the first run. And does that improve? Now 89. So 2 very solid runs for Carson Storch. He's your leader right now with 1 more to go. Let's hear it for Carson Storch out of Bend, Oregon right now.
So proud of that kid. He works so hard at home training. He's a true professional, and it's all coming together here for him in Colorado.
And he ended up in 12th last year at the Colorado Freeride Festival. Now it's Nikolai Rogatkin's turn. Nikolai Rogatkin at 92 yesterday, then at 94. We have not seen any scores like we saw to Nikolai yesterday. He fell on his first run today. So it comes down to this. 1 more rider to go. He's your #1 qualifier, way down in 13th spot. But he's going to need a banger right now to get things done on his second and final run. There's your leader, Carson Storch, talking to Diego. All of our attention right now is on this man right now. Nikolai Rogatkin.
If you want to wait, that's up to you.
19 years old.
Windy or?
Asking about the win right now. He's chomping at the bit right now to get in this thing. Carson just wants to see how it's going to play out.
The next 45 seconds once he drops in is completely No doubt about that.
Here we go. Nikolai Rogatkin coming in. Our final rider, our final run of the day.
Nikolai Rogatkin start things off once again with that double tail, landing so smooth. The 450 once again connecting to that transition. Oh, he's looking smooth, Brad. He's got that Superman seat grab on the hip. Prepping into the cannon log with no pedals, getting the tail whip perfect. And into this first trick jump. He's gonna cash roll once again. Oh, the rotating.
No.
Wow.
Goes down.
Nikolai down. It's gonna be Carson Storch's day out here.
So Nikolai Rogatkin, the #1 qualifier, going down, and that's going to mean that Carson Storch is going to take the win out here today from Bend, Oregon with a 91.
Wow, Carson Storch with his first major win. We knew it's been coming for a long time, and it finally came to fruition here. Winter Park, Colorado Freeride Festival 2015 champion, Carson Storch.
Unbelievable. We're going to check in with Mark Sullivan, who's standing by with our winner, Carson Storch. Let's send it down right now to Sullivan. Mark?
All right, Carson. Incredible first run, incredible second run. Was that a case of a good offense being the best defense?
Yeah, I guess so. I was just having so much fun. It was so relaxed. It's just rode my bike, had fun with it, and yeah, now here I am. Feels crazy.
So what was going through your head before Nikolai dropped in?
Definitely expecting him to put something down because he's so consistent, such a good guy, and yeah, it sucks that he went down, but it feels amazing to be sitting here.
How's it feel to be the winner of the Colorado Freeride Festival?
Feels unreal. It's the first contest I've ever won, and never had good luck here, and the course here is just so good. Kelly McGarry and Tom Hay did such a good job, and yeah, couldn't be happier.
Great. Anything you want to tell the fans here at Winter Park?
Thanks for coming out.
Right on. Congratulations, Carson. Stick around here for our award ceremony. Back to you guys.
Oh, man. Celebration time here in Winter Park, Colorado for Carson Storch. We got the awards. We're going to get our top 3 all squared away. But there are only two FMB World Tour events in the U.S. and an American winning it out here today at Winter Park, Colorado. And that's going to be Carson Storch. Stick around. We got the awards. They're coming up for you next right here live from Winter Park. Don't go away. And it is time. What an amazing day we have seen out here at Colorado Freeride Festival. Your Maxxis Slopestyle Finals in the books. Cam, that was exciting.
That was ridiculously exciting, Brad. I mean, Carson Storch, I live in the same town as the guy, so I obviously was pulling for him. But to see him put it all together, and he's been around for some years, just progressively getting better and better every single year. But this is exactly what he needed to catapult his career to the next level. A huge win at Winter Park's Colorado Freeride Festival.
Yep, and I think we're about ready to get started with the awards. Also, props to Torquato Testa from Italy. He has earned himself a spot in the Joyride by his finish out here today. So good stuff out of Torquato. We'll be seeing him in Whistler. You and I went around there in just a couple more weeks on that one.
Well, he's such an exciting rider. I was pumped to hear that he was here, but to now find out that we're going to get to see him again in a few short weeks, we're over the moon to see him ride again on that course.
I wonder if he even knows that right now, if he knows that he's just earned himself a spot in a FMB Diamond Series stop as big as that one is. All right, time to get things started here. Let's get down to business in third place today, posting up a solid score. He is out of the Czech Republic, doing it for Rose Bikes, 25 years old. Let's hear it for Jakob Venzel. And hand him the award and the champagne. It's okay, Jakob's 25, so we can give him the bubbly. That's some serious bling right there. And one more time for Jakob Venzel, third place out here today. And now for second place for you. Coming by way of Italy. Tell you what, he is definitely turning heads. Put your hands together. Second place going to Torquato Testa. The 21-year-old Italian rider taking up there and earning himself a spot in the Joyride. And there's the check, handing it to him. Give him the bubbly. And the moment you guys have been waiting for, your Maxxis Slopestyle winner for 2015 Colorado Freeride Festival. Give it up out of Bend, Oregon, for Carson Storch. Probably the biggest win in his career right there. Carson Storch out of Bend, Oregon, the winner with a 91 here today. So once again, ups to Jakob Venzel. He ends up in third place. Second place, Torquato Testa. And your winner, Carson Storch. Probably my favorite time right here.
First big win, you're still trying to figure out how to pop the cork on that champagne bottle.
He doesn't even know, huh?
You know what? The best thing he's going to experience is when he gets home and he's unloading his bike and his gear out of the bag. It's all going to smell like champagne. That's the smell of victory.
Well, you've smelled that before, that's for sure, Cam McCall. So there they are, your 1, 2, and 3. Bob Holmes from Winter Park, congratulating all the riders. You know, a tough break out there for Nikolai Rogatkin. He came out, he had finished he has won so many events this year and has done so good. He was our #1 qualifier with 2 at the highest scores yesterday. But you know what? It's one of those things. They call your name, you got to put it together, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
It just goes to show how truly difficult it is to repeat a run like that. He had such a great showing in qualifying, doing that run twice and improving upon it each time. But then you wake up the next morning and go, I got to do that all over again. It's very daunting. And, well, Carson Storch, I'm sure as soon as he saw Nikolai went down, probably didn't like to see his buddy go down, but knowing that he had the big win, it must have been a big relief.
All right, but I think we're going to check in with our third member of our team once again, Mark Sullivan, who's down there with Jakob Venzel, ending up in third. Let's send it downstairs to Mark Sullivan. Mark with Jakob.
Jakob, I understand this is your first time on a podium at a gold level event. How does it feel?
It's amazing. It's amazing. Especially I got hurt at this place 2 years ago, so bad. I feel so relieved. Awesome. Can't believe that.
You beat some incredible riders here today. What kind of focus, what kind of concentration did it take leading up to the event?
Actually, I can't even say. I just did my first run, was stoked with that, and then I was just like, I wasn't really sure if I'm going to step it up, and that's how it ended up. I'm so glad that everything worked.
Cool. And what do you think of Winter Park?
It's awesome. I love it now.
Cool. Well, congratulations. Third place here today in our Slopestyle at the Colorado Freeride Festival. Jakob Venzel.
Oh, man. What a great story. I mean, from the Czech Republic, seeing Jakob Venzel get up there, and then from Italy, seeing Torquato Testa get up there and taking second, and then the American right there, Carson Storch, taking the win here on U.S. soil. And I know he's a good friend of you. You both live in Bend, Oregon. What are your thoughts on this, Cam?
Well, just seeing him practice so hard at home and being so focused on this season, he knew it was going to be a breakthrough year for himself if he was able to put it all together and stay focused. So the mental game is huge, but also just the repetition of training. So to watch him do that repetition and then see it all just come to fruition on the course, I had goosebumps seeing him stomp that run.
Is that the biggest win, do you think, of his career? I think that would be the biggest win, right?
I mean, Colorado Freeride Festival is a massive event, so it would be a breakthrough win for anybody. But yeah, doing exactly what he needed to do in this portion of his career, and I'm just excited to see what's next for Carson Storch.
Well, I'm amazed. I'll tell you what, man, loving to see, wanted to see Nikolai get up there, but I'll tell you what, Nikolai Rogatkin, second in Rotorua, first at Bike Days, first Vienna Air King. He's done so good this year. He's amazing. We'll see him out there in Joyride as well. And Torquato Testa, we'll see him out to Joyride as well. But congratulations to every one of our riders who showed up and competed out here. Once again, there's only 2 stops on the FMB World Tour that are here in the U.S., and these guys came and they showed up and they blew up and made things happen. So big props out to Deb. Big props out to Kevin McCall. Always a pleasure working with you. But wait a minute, I think we might have, we're not done yet. Should we go check in one more time with Mark?
Let's do it.
All right, let's send it downstairs. I think we got Mark Sullivan down with somebody else right now.
All
Mark
right,
Sullivan,
I'm sitting
take it
here
away.
with Torquato Testa. First time to America from Italy. How was your visit?
Was really good. It's really good. It's my first time in America. I'm so excited because everything is different from Europe, and I don't know what to say, really.
So you got second place today, your first time on a podium at a gold level event. What did you change to do that?
I feel really good now, and I don't know. I think this is the hardest part for me. Try to speak flowly English, but I'm trying.
Okay, well, I'm thinking about going to an Italian restaurant tonight. What should I order?
What, sorry?
I'm going to go to an Italian restaurant tonight to eat dinner.
Oh, yeah.
What should I eat?
Like, I think the real pasta, because it's a typical Italian dishes, and also pizza, but the real pizza, because only in Italy you can't eat real pizza.
Well, I'm not going to go to Italy to get my pizza, but thank you for the advice and congratulations on the podium. Torquato Testa, welcome to America.
When he dropped? Yeah, so it's something close to that.
Carson, come in here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yo.
You reek of champagne.
Oh, yeah, I know.
The smell of victory.
For sure.
So, Carson, you've been working really hard at home. That flat drop flip, I remember when you wanted to try it for your first time. It wasn't that long ago. How many have you done before coming out here and stomping it on a contest course?
Probably like 6 or 7. Oh, yeah, it's on the drop at home. And, yeah, that was a scary one to learn. But now that it's there, it's like, you know, it feels fun.
That's awesome. I'm so pumped that you got that figured out before this event. What were you thinking? I was looking at you sitting up there in the gate for your second run, and you were in the best possible position because you were in the lead, but also the most difficult position because it wasn't re-racked in order of, last to first qualifying after the first run. You had to wait. You had to do your run. You didn't have the ability to watch Nikolai. So what were you thinking? How are you going to try to improve upon that perfect run that you did in the first round?
I was just going to try and extend everything more and land cleaner and go higher, and that's all I really could do. I could have sent some tricks, but I just decided to stay consistent and try and put a run down that's just a little more, and yeah.
We're going to actually take a look at that first run right now, the one that gave you the win. So we got a little TV screen right here, so check it out. Walk us through this.
Just threw a little 3 table. That was actually like the first one I really did on that step down, so it felt really good to get that out of the way right off the bat.
Look at your landing on this.
Oh,
boom.
Yeah.
No head bob.
That thing's fun, man.
And then that's
good.
Opposite rotation, right?
Yeah, switch, and then I just chuck a bar at high speeds.
You see a lot of people kind of throwing their runaway trying to trick that thing, but you were able to bar spin it and keep going.
Yeah.
Here we go. What's this all about?
Oh, a little flat flip.
Oh, my gosh.
And then flip whip, came around, it's a big jump, nice and lofty.
So smooth, and just the moment of relief right there as you stomped him. And I want to ask you a question. On your second run, it looked like when you caught your pedals on that flip whip, did you try to squeak in a little table right there?
I did, yeah.
That was cool.
I just figured the jump's so big, all I got to do is just like do what I was doing before and just try and squeak in a table. And that was the first time I've ever tried that, so it felt good to at least move the bars.
Yeah, sometimes when you're in that pressure situation, the crowds go nuts. Do you feel that it's easier to flip a switch and try something you haven't tried? Have you ever tried to catch the bike and do a table before after a flip whip?
No.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Crowd motivation right there.
Yes, a little bit of improv here out of Carson Storch. Well, congratulations, dude. I'm so pumped for you. I can't wait to get back home and buy you a huge cake. I've owed Carson a cake now for about a month because when he first wanted a flat drop flip at home, I was like, well, if you stomp it, I'll get you a cake. Do you like cake? And so I owe him like a small cake for doing that. But for winning Colorado Freeride Festival, you're going to get this massive cake. They're going to have to come in delivered on a truck bed.
Perfect.
So develop your sweet tooth. I'm probably going to turn you into diabetic, but you're going to have some cake arriving here pretty soon.
Right on.
Right on. Good job, Carson.
Thanks, buddy.
Pumped for you. And Brad, back to you.
Oh, man, did I really have to put this thing on with all the champagne? Thanks a lot, Carson Storch.
Sticky, huh?
Yeah, you owe me a glass of that champagne, buddy. Well, amazing stuff, and I thought that it'd be only fitting that you from Bend, Oregon, of course, getting the interview with him. But big props out to all of our sponsors out here. Got to give it up for Coca-Cola, Maxxis, GoPro, Denver Health, Cliff Bar, New Belgium, and Red Bull for all they do. But an amazing turn of events, and once again, maybe this is the opportunity for more FMB World Tour stops to happen in the USA. What do you think, Cam?
We would love to see that. Fortunately, Colorado Freeride Festival has been living on for so many years. I think this is the 9th installment of the event, so we'll be looking at the big decade of CFF next year. I can't wait to see another year's worth of progression when we show up back out here in the mountains in 2016.
Well, big props to Cam McCall, a 2-time winner out here. Final thoughts to wrap it up on everything you saw yesterday and today, Cam.
Well, just the rate of progression continuously ramping up. Once again, can't imagine what we're going to see next year if it continues down that path. It's still the start of a young season, so this event was a sight of things to come. We had another event in a few weeks, so just keep the momentum rolling. The FMB is just getting going for 2015.
Unbelievable stuff indeed. Big props to everybody who watched it online. Thanks for joining us there. If you watch us on Pink Bike, ColoradoFreerideFestival.com, whatever it may be, thanks for joining us online. And big props out to all the people out here showing up and representing in a big way that they do every single year here at the Colorado Freeride Festival. On behalf of Mark Sullivan, a 2-time winner of this event, Cam McCall, I'm Brad J. Good day now from Winter Park, Colorado. We'll see you.